Hello, bonjour everybody. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching my video and special thanks for those who subscribe to my channel. This video is about flames of war and how it works. The subject is dig in. In this video I will talk about the dig in for the infantries or the different gun teams. You may read about dig in at page 47 or page 101 of the rulebook or around that page depending on which rulebook version 4 you are reading. Why would you like to have your units dig in? There's two good reasons for that. The first reason is for your units would be concealed from your enemy, so they will suffer a +1 when shooting at you. Second, all your units will be in bulletproof cover, so your enemy will have to roll a firepower if they want to destroy your team. There's two ways to have your unit dig ins. The first is at the beginning of the page, according to the rulebook page 101. All unit, infantry or gun team, start in gun to ground, in foxhole, and in bulletproof cover. So meaning they are not necessarily concealed, but they are in bulletproof cover in their foxhole. So we can see gun to ground with a tag for a unit, and also it will come with another tag that Flames of War provide to say that unit is in foxhole. If you are crafty, you can make your own foxhole or dig in, like in this example for my artillery naval warfare, my anti-tank, or my mortar, or my heavy machine gun. So that's different way to say they are in foxhole or dig in. Now for your unit in ambush, because they are at the beginning of the game technically on the table, but hiding from your enemy, they are also gun to ground and bulletproof cover in foxhole. So that means when you bring your unit on the table, like your anti-tank, if you choose to have your anti-tank, that anti-tank would be gun to ground and bulletproof cover by being in foxhole. But also, if you decide to bring them on the table, you have some rules to follow with ambushes. So when you provide the ambush or bring the ambush on the table and your movement step, or just before the movement step, you declare you bring your ambush and then you decide where you place it. It has to be in your deployment zone, has to be at least 16 inches of your enemy if they are in plain sight. And if you decide to conceal like in a forest, and let's say this is a forest, you have to be at least 4 inches from your enemy up to the distance you prefer. But if you are between 16 inches and 4 inches, you have to be concealed. Being in a foxhole dig in doesn't provide conceal. Even when you roll against it, you need to put +1 for concealment. It is not technically concealment, it is in foxhole compared to behind a stone wall. So you decide to bring your ambush. So you go in the forest because you want to be less than 16 inches. So in the forest you will be gun to ground, in foxhole, dig in, and so that will bring you bulletproof cover and conceal. So the second method to dig in for your infantry or gun teams is to give them the command to dig in. And when does it happen? It happens during your turn in the movement step. You decide not to move that unit. So my Panzer Grenadier here are in an open field. From last turn they move over there. So in my movement step now, I can give them a movement orders, and the movement order has to be dig in. So I'm going to try to put them in foxhole so they are now in bulletproof cover. To do that, I need to roll a dice. The score I need to obtain is your skill score. So when you look at the Panzer Grenadier platoon, it said skill veteran 3+. It may be also, depending on the unit you have and the country you're playing as your forces, a different tactics rating. And then on the skill, they will say, for example, for the Soviet, crafty tactics with a new skill rating. So for my Panzer Grenadier, I need to roll the 3+. So if I roll my 3+, my unit become in foxhole. While you are in foxhole, you can still shoot at your enemy. So you can be there, give the order, dig in, you roll 3+, you are in foxhole. You move all your other units. Now it's the shooting step. And the shooting step, because you just roll them in foxhole, you may also be able to shoot at your enemy. For that, you don't use your halt rate of fire, even though they haven't moved, but because they dig in, so they were moving technically, they use their moving rate of fire. So to shoot at your enemy, instead to shoot at your alt rate of fire of 3, you use the moving rate of fire of 2. So you got 2, 3, 4, 5 platoon, you're going to use 10 dice, and you're going to hit your enemy at is it on. And any other involvement with that, they are concealed, they are in bulletproof cover, and gun to ground, etc. So what we learn here is to dig in, it is during movement orders, you can give the orders. If they succeed, you can dig in. At the shooting step, you can still shoot at your enemy, but at the moving rate of fire toward them. Now, if you fail, you get a 2. You are not in your foxhole, but it is considered to have moved because you were working to dig in or go in foxhole. So you cannot move. And if you decide to shoot at your shooting step, you will still be considered to have moved, so your rate of fire will be moving rate of fire. Now, if you succeed, you place your tag, or you can place the little trench system or dig-in system to show they are dig-in for your troops. If you decide not to shoot, they will go gun to ground at the same time, because if a unit in their shooting step or moving step did not move or shoot, on the next turn they would be gun to ground. So on the next turn they would be considered gun to ground. Or during your enemy turn, they would be gun to ground because they haven't shoot. They will stay in their foxhole or dig in as long as they do not move. So during the entire game, if you have your artillery who do not move, or your heavy machine gun who do not move, or any other gun teams or infantry teams do not move, they will always be in their foxhole. Let's say we have our unit of Panzer Grenadier in foxhole, so they are dig in, and the Soviets decide to do an assault. So I place 14 Soviet team against them, so they are as close as they can, so they are right at the trench wall, and they conduct an assault. So my German would do defensive fire. To be able to stop the assault during defensive fire, I need to hit the Soviet at least 5 times. Let's say I hit the Soviet 5 times, so the assault is stopped. The Soviets will do their save, they lose 1 unit, let's say, and everybody else is safe. Now my Soviet unit is automatically pinned down. On top of being pinned down, they have to remove themselves from the assault by at least 2 inches from the German. So we look 2 inches and we'll move them 2 inches away from the German. And the assault is finished. So the Soviets will finish all their assault turn, and when it's done, their turn is finished. Now in German turn, the Germans know now that we have a platoon of infantry riflemen from the Soviet Union 2 inches from my trench system. So I do my movement step, I do all my shooting steps, so they shoot at them, they are already pinned down, and I destroy only another team. Because they are not in bulletproof cover, so I just need to hit to destroy. Now there's at least 2 teams there. I may decide to use my infantry there and put them out of the foxhole and charge and assault my Soviet in this example. So I jump out, and I go against them. My second team behind can do the same, and they do the same with this guy. They will jump out of the trench and run toward the Soviet and conduct an assault. Now during the assault, there's defensive fire from all the Soviets that are 8 inches or less from the unit, the assault. And let's say they hit 3 times. My German do all their save 3 times, and this one fails, so he is destroyed. The other team go forward against, and then the assault happens. So I rolled 3 dice, and I need to roll my skill in that case, and my skill is 3. So let's say roll a 4, a 5, and a 2. So I had a 4 and a 5, those 2 units are automatically destroyed. So the assault was successful. I can consolidate, and by that, when we call consolidating, I can move my assault unit up to 4 inches in any direction, as long as I'm at least 4 inches away from the Soviet. So I decide to go back in my trench. because the trench, even if I leave the trench, it's not considered movement, it's an assault. So I go back and jump in my trench. Whew, that was a good one. And we are back. Now they are still in their foxhole, they are still dig in. So the next turn, if the Soviet attack or shoot at them, they would be considered in their foxhole. But this foxhole, the guys are dead, they are not there anymore, you remove that foxhole. So important to remember during an assault, if they leave their trench or their foxhole to conduct the assault, because they did not move, foxhole still stay there. If they win the assault, you can consolidate by moving 4 inches in any direction. So in that case, you can reoccupy their foxhole. So when we look at artillery, like the naval warfare here, or the 10.5 centimeter artillery piece from a Howitzer from the German, they start their game at their position in foxhole and gun to ground. So to represent to be in foxhole, you can also put a template like this one to represent to be dig in. When they turn, they shoot or they try to range in and against enemy, they will lose their gun to ground. They are successful to ranging in or not, they lose the gun to ground. But they will stay dig in. The reason for that, as long as they do not move, the unit is considered dig in. If you shoot with them, but it's said in Flames of War, you need to turn your artillery piece toward the aiming point. So in this case, for example, I need to turn it in. So I'm facing my aiming point. When I do so, Flames of War don't consider the artillery to have moved. So what does it mean is, if you get shot at by infantry or tank, they are in bulletproof cover, so to be hit on the 4, they will hit on the 5. If they are successful, your artillery will have to do a save, and if they are successful in the save, then there's nothing happen. But if they fail their save, because for the save, for the naval warfare is a 4+, so there's a 50-50. You fail your save, then they need to do firepower. And that doesn't change that you have fired previous turn or not. As long as your unit don't move, they will stay dig in. So if you have a Panzer Grenadier, in this example, behind a stone wall, why will you like to put them in foxhole, so to give them the order to dig in? So we know they are behind a stone wall, so they are in bulletproof cover. So if your enemy shoot at them, they make a hit, your Panzer Grenadier will roll for save. If they fail, they need to roll firepower. So there's no need to put them in foxhole. But there's a simple reason for that. If your enemy shoot them with artillery, even if they are behind a stone wall, if you hit on 4+ with the artillery and you hit this unit and this unit, for example, they need to roll for their save. If they fail, they are destroyed. There's no firepower, because even though they are in bulletproof cover with the stone wall, they are not in bulletproof cover from artillery. The artillery will hit here and splash fragment all over the place. If you want to be protected in bulletproof cover against artillery, then during your turn, your Panzer Grenadier in the movement step, you're going to give them a tactical movement order and say to dig in. If you succeed, your unit can still shoot at the alt rate of fire. They cannot move, but now they are in foxhole. If they decide not to shoot, then it would be gun to ground as well. By doing so, even it doesn't make any change if enemy infantry shoot at them or tanks shoot at them. If they are hit, they will need to roll their save. If they fail, your enemy need to roll firepower to destroy that unit. But if the artillery shoot at them and they are in foxhole and they hit them, so on the 4+ they hit, my infantry now need to roll their save. If they fail, because now they are in foxhole, they are not automatically destroyed, the enemy artillery now need to roll firepower against them. That's the basic reason why, even behind a wall, if you don't intend to move, it might be a good idea to try to give the movement order to dig in. It will not change if they are hit by other infantry or gun team against them, but if they are shot at by artillery from the enemy, they will not have the bulletproof cover even there's a stone wall. The reason is the shell will hit behind the stone wall and fragment will go toward the stone wall, so the stone wall would not protect you compared to shot coming from the front and may hit the stone wall. So that's why if you intend to stay there, it's not a bad idea to give the movement order to dig in. So I think I covered all the examples for foxhole and digging in plans of war. I hope it helped to understand how digging or foxhole work. If you have any comment, please do write in the comment section below. It helped me to have a better understanding of the game. Thank you for watching and see you soon with my next video. Bye bye.